All right, hey guys, hope you had a good week. Couple things just real touch on those test scores. I posted how I'm going to be grading that. The district really wants us to really focus on participation, so that's kind of my way of doing the participation grade and everything instead of just checking off everyday stuff. So again, if you got an 80% or higher on the test, you've got a perfect 15 out of 15 on it. That's what's going to show up in the grade book. So that's going to kind of be the shot. If you score below 55% on it, though, you're going to have to do the retakes. I will post the retakes with the regular test every single Friday. This week, guys, we're not doing too different than what we were doing last week, just practicing our elimination and solving using elimination. Except this week, we're not going to have everything line up as beautifully as it has in the past. You're going to have to do a little thinking. That's why we're going to be doing a lot of multiplication and factoring practices all week as well. We'll also be working on some substitution. The plan would be to finish up the eliminations this week, review substitution, elimination, and graphing next week again, and then we're going to move on to either scientific notation or exponents after that. So things are going fast. I hope everybody's week's going well. I hope they're enjoying the sunshine out there. But let's dive into today's lesson. The main thing I just want you to do is, how do you get things going when they don't look extremely obvious? So we're just going to review when something doesn't naturally cancel, how do we make it cancel? So all we're going to be doing today really is looking at problems that look something like this. Negative 6x plus 5y equals negative 8. And then we have our 2x plus y equals 24. So we have those two, and neither one of them naturally cancels. You just have to figure out how do you get them to become their opposites. So if I was looking at this, it doesn't matter which one you look at. These are both pretty easy to get to, but let's just look at these x's since this one's negative and it's already an opposite. So what I'm going to do is, if this is negative 6, what do I have to do to 2 to make it a positive 6 so they're opposites of one another? So negative 6 and positive 6 are opposites. So to do that, I'm going to scale the entire bottom of the equation by 3. If I distribute that in now, I'm going to have 6x plus 3y equals 72. Then I bring my other equation back down and I have my negative 6x plus 5y equals negative 8. Okay, and that goes away. And then I would just solve from there. If I wanted to keep going through, this would be 8y is equal to 64. Divide both sides by 8, and I get y is equal to 8. Okay, and I'd be done with my y side. I'd have to solve it still by plugging it into my x. So we're going to go negative 6x plus 5 times 8 equals negative 8. This is negative 6x plus 40. After I distribute my 5 times 8 equals negative 8. Move the 40 to the other side, and I'm left with negative 6x equals negative 48. And when I finish with my division, I get x is equal to a positive 8 as well. So for that one, it'd be x equals 8, y equals 8. If I did it as a coordinate, it would be 8 comma 8. That's how I would do that first type of problem. Okay? Again, we're just looking at how do we get things to naturally cancel. What do I have to do? So today, all we're really practicing, or all I'm having you guys practicing, is your multiplication facts as well as your scaling. And I have you solve one problem for the flip grid all the way through like the one I just did. But for the most part, it's exactly just reviewing what we did yesterday. How do we get things to cancel? So I'll do one more. I'm just going to show you how I would get it to cancel. And then after that, we're just going to call it a day because we have our Zoom meeting today. So let's look at negative 8x minus 7y equals negative 8. And then x minus 2y equals 1. Okay, and this one, doesn't matter which one I choose. I'm going to choose to do my x's just because I would have to do something to both sides if I wanted to try to get 7 and 2 to equal each other, or be opposites of one another, I mean. So for this one, to make x on the bottom, the opposite of my negative 8x on the top, I just have to multiply everything by 8. And I would get 8x minus 16y equals 8. And then bring this guy back down here, and I'd have negative 8x minus 7y equals negative 8. And that's how I would get that to cancel, because there's my cancel right there. And that's what I'm going for, and that's all you're practicing today. Tomorrow we're going to go a little more in depth, but not too much. And we'll talk about some other things during the Zoom meeting that'll, kind of ways to help you out a little bit. But do your best on your Nearpod, and hopefully you guys get through everything quickly today. Thank you.